Hey guys, this is an update to my Pro Tools Shortcuts video. I want to do this quickly because I know you can always stop and rewind on YouTube. Alright, let's get right into it. First of all, I want to make sure these are set up in my preferred configuration with these two highlighted, this one not, this one highlighted. And my Smart Tool slip mode will start there. Okay, also we're going to maximize this for the screen, and we are off. Okay, for transport controls, transport means fast forward, play, stop, all those sort of navigation functions. So there are ways to do this with the number pad, and there are ways to do it on the QWERTY keyboard. For play or stop, you can use your space bar on the QWERTY. It's both play and stop. Or the number 0 on the number pad. Number 0 on the number pad. And then stop will be 0 as well. Fast forward, let's use number 2 on the number pad. It doesn't work if you do it on the other number 2. Number 1 is going to be rewind. Go to the song beginning is going to be return. Return, not enter. Enter will do something different. If you have a laptop, you can hold down function and hit return, and that will make it into enter. Function. See how if on your laptop it says the little word enter? That means if you hold function, it'll get that secondary thing. It's kind of like shift sort of a thing. Okay, this is the song beginning. Record. There are about 4 ways to do this. With the mouse, you'll need to arm this track to record. There is a shortcut for that, but I think 99% of the people I know will use the mouse to arm that to record. Number 3 on the number pad is going to record. There it goes. Undo is Command Z. Then another one is Command Spacebar. Let me move the selector over here. Command Spacebar. He says, wow, it's not working for me. Must be a preferences thing going on. But Command Spacebar should work for you. If it's not, it might be rerouted. If any of these don't work, it's probably because it's rerouted to system, operating system functions. It might be a count in. Let's see. Sometimes if you go to Window, Transport, no, there's no count off designated. I guess we would have seen the count off when we hit 3 as well. The other way you can do record is to hit F12. Again, if it doesn't work, it's because it's rerouted to operating system things. But F12. Good. Continue on. Create new track. Shift Command N. Once this is open, the next 4 blanks on your handout will apply. Adding a new track is essentially hitting this plus button. If you hold Command and plus, you will add a track type. It has to be plus on the number pad. Or Command N in the QWERTY area is going to add a track. The next blank is delete a track, and what I mean by that is to hit this minus button. And Command minus on the number pad will get rid of that. Command minus in the QWERTY area. See if that works. Yeah, it will work. Command minus, either minus in the above the QWERTY keyboard or in the number pad. Advanced next quantity box. What I mean by that is, see how my selected number is right here, and I can advance down the list. That's hitting tab. So if I change my mind, if I want to change this number to something else, I can just type the number 2, tab, 3, etc. Back up to previous quantity box is going to be shift tab. Shift tab. All right. Once you are selected here, let me zoom in a little bit. Once you're selected here, if you want to change this, I'm going to have you guys memorize this. That's going to be Command either right arrow or left arrow. Just think stereos left and right. Then in terms of changing the track type, that's going to be Command down arrow. That's going to be changing the track type. And once it's all selected, we don't need the mouse to hit this. We just merely hit enter or return, and it's going to create all those different track types. Super. Solo safe. Hold Command and hit the solo button. That's going to make this immune to any solo commands. So if I solo safe it and I tell this track to solo, if there were audio on this track, it would ignore the power of this solo and it would play nonetheless. It will ignore, it's not muted by soloing another track. Assigning plugins consecutively. Let me tab, here's our other window. Let's say all tracks, I want to do something the same. Just remember Alt equals all. It sounds like all, and functionally in Pro Tools, Alt will get you the all. Yes, it's the Option key. Maybe your keyboard doesn't even say Alt on it. But for the sake of memorization, let's memorize that Alt equals all. So I'm holding Alt and I'll select an output, maybe bus 23 and 24. And you'll see all the tracks are doing the same thing. Next, what if I want consecutive something? Let's say input. I want all these to have consecutive input. It might get a little goofy because some of these tracks are mono, some are stereo. But let's see what happens. Alt Command is going to be our consecutive. While holding those, I'll assign input from bus. How about 10? Oh, it skips 10. Wow, these are goofy. Let's start with 40, see what happens. So 40, then it skipped it because those are stereo, then 41, 42, 43, 44. So in your exam, I'll probably have you take a session full of 12 mono audio tracks so that you could see this work properly. Okay, but what if it's just a selection of tracks? Let's say, see how these are all white down here? If I have a certain set of tracks, how about all 4 of these? Because these are all mono. I can drag this one over, oops, and shift click on this one. Now all 5 of these are selected. What if I just want, see these are all drum tracks and I want to do the same thing. Let's to just these 5 and leave everything else the same. What I can do is I can shift is my modifier to designate that I only want to do something to these 5. And then the other modifiers we learned before are now going to apply. Alt is going to do all 5 of these the same, and then Shift Alt Command is going to do all 5 of these consecutively. So here's a Shift Alt. Let's output all of these drum tracks to a bus. About 47, 48. Boom. Now all 5 of these are going to the same place, and let's have consecutive input of just these 5. Let's go bus. How about 70 through 75? And you can see those went 7 through 74, and the other ones stayed the same because we held Shift, and it's going to apply to our selected. Alt, holding Alt and clicking down here is going to select all. If I'm still holding Alt, I can unselect all. Our old friend Command is going to let me select certain things. So there are ways to select what you want, and then you can do what you want to the selected tracks, or unselect with Command. If you have a big stream and you don't want this one to be included, now you could do your assignment to the selected tracks with your Shift Alt or Shift Alt Command. Okay, let's try to speed this up. On the other view here, our zoom in is with the letter T. It'll only work if this A through Z is highlighted. That's going to activate single key shortcuts. And then the letter R to kind of zoom out to get a 20,000 foot view of our session. Next, toggle from mix to edit. It's Command equals. Thank you, Abby. insert marker. So I'm going to zoom in a little closer so you can see this. Spacebar. Enter, not return. Enter. And I just hit it twice. Enter, enter. Enter, enter. You could name it like enter chorus, boom, and it names it chorus. But knowing the number is going to help us on our next shortcut. If I know this is a spot in the song and I want to go there, here we go. On the number pad, decimal, 3, decimal, enter. Oops, not enter. Just decimal, 3, decimal takes me there, then space bar. Or decimal, 3, decimal, 0 on the number pad for play. So I can quickly, even you don't even have to stop it. I can go 0, 2, decimal, 1, decimal, 0. Oh, 0 would made it stop there. Leave it playing, 0, 1, decimal. It just keeps it going from that spot. If you do not see these markers, it's because they are not revealed. You have to hit this little calendar looking thing and choose markers. Okay, reset faders to unity gain or pan knob. So let's go to the mixture view. Let's say we have different levels here, and the pans are at a certain place. Holding down Option, I know I called it Alt before, but now I'm thinking of it as Option in my mind. And I'm clicking on these, and it snaps them up. If you want to do the whole session, if everything is out of whack, any kind of faders, when we talk about sends, you might see a little mixer up here that has faders all over the place. Select all tracks with Alt, click. Now Shift, remember we said Shift means selection, Alt or Option, same thing. Here we go, click, boom, and they all snap. Same thing to our, I don't know why that didn't go. Interesting. Oh, only the left channel snapped. Crazy. Yeah, so that's that one. Fat meter view. That is going to be all 3 modifiers. Control, Option, Command. Then you click with your mouse on this fader. It's the old man view for the old eyes, or if you're going to be far away from the computer screen, or it's a small computer screen, that can be helpful. Tools mode. Watch what happens as I hit the different F keys. And again, you might have to hold function for this. F1, shuffle. F2, slip. F3, spot. F4, grid. Hit F4 again, and it'll give you any secondary. See a little arrow here? So keep hitting F4, it's going to toggle it. When I hit F5, we're going to jump to the first tool. This single zoom is going to F5, F6, F7, F8, F9, and that's, since that's rerouted to operating system, I hold function, then it works. It didn't work. I'd have to go into my preferences for the under the apple on the upper left, and same with that one. But they would work once I take away that functionality from the operating system under preferences for things like expose. Okay, and again, if you hit F5 multiple times, it would go to the different modes of the zoom tool. F6 multiple times, you'd toggle between. But what about the smart tool? If you hold down any 2, and that's the last blank you have here in this section, F6 through F8, hold those down, 2 of them or all 3 at the same time, and that activates your smart tool. So there we go, that's that section. Toggle through edit modes over here. It's going to be your tilde. Tilde is the little squiggly type thing above tab. Tilde. Tilde, I think. Then your escape button is going to cycle through your modes here. All right, naming tracks. The first one you have to do the mouse. Double click, boom, boom. If that's a kick drum, boom, kick. With your mouse, you could hit the next button, but the mouse is a sign of weakness, so we're not going to hit next to the mouse. Instead, command down arrow, snare, command down arrow, hi-hat with HH, command down arrow, tom, etc. And once I'm done, I hit return or enter in order to hit that blue button in any screen, meaning OK or enter or whatever that it's labeled. Naming tracks. Okay, create a group. Let's toggle to either view. Here's my mixer view. Let me maximize it. And unselect with Alt. Here's Shift or click. Shift click over here. Let's say these are all violins. So what I can do is Command G, then just see how it's selected group 1 right here. So I can just start typing violins and enter. I might want to double check the functionality. The person before you might have deactivated things. That means if I hit mute on one channel, all of them are going to mute. If I adjust levels, send levels, we haven't talked about sends yet, mix and edit, those are all going to be attached to the hip. So, okay, so here's what happens in the group. If I grab one fader, they all go. I don't think pans are not connected. Sends levels, if I sent this to a reverb, all of them would go at the same time, just like this was. I think if I hit solo, yeah, if I hit, those are attached, not that one, but that one. Okay, so what if this violin was a whole lot louder? I wanted to adjust only this one fader. That's your next blank. Create a group, bypass group, control. It lets you control one fader. So I hold control and then I adjust this. And then once I let go, they're attached at the hip again. Control, control. And they keeps their proportions. It's kind of cool. Next, bypass plugin. Let's hold down Alt and create a bunch of single band EQs. I'm holding Alt, so it's going to apply one to all tracks. There it is. So if the plugin's open, there's a bypass button, but you don't need to open up a plugin in order to do that. You don't need to click, bypass, close. That's 3 clicks. Holding down Command, I can do whichever one I want. Command Alt, our friend All. Check it out. Boom. I can bypass all of them. Command click. And then applying Alt. Sometimes you just guess. Like I figured that one out. Like I wonder if I hold Alt if it's going to do all plugins. Command Alt, and it did. I wonder if Shift Alt Command would do only the selection. Shift Alt Command. Boom. There we go. Once you kind of learn the rules, you can guess how it would play out in the software. Option C, that's not going to work right now. Sometimes when things are loud in your session, you're going to see these little red indicators at the top. And yes, you can click on that red indicator at in this area where my mouse is, and it'll disappear. You can hold our friend Alt and click on it, make it disappear. But sometimes also there's plugins that the sound is so loud going into these plugins, these EQs, other effects, that this will turn red also, meaning it's clipping inside of the plugin. So option C is going to mute that. It's going to clear all clips. So if you have 140 tracks, you don't want to have to go through and click with your mouse on every clip because somebody's in the room and they can tell that your tracks are clipping, and you want to keep your reputation intact as an engineer that does things properly, not clip tracks. So option C is going to quickly hide those from anybody that saw that you clip some tracks. Nudge some regions forward. We've just got 6 left here. We can do it. So first, you need your Smart tool. So that's F6 and F7 together. Smart tool, the top half is the selector. Bottom half of this area is the grabber tool. With the grabber tool, I'm going to click, and it selects all that audio. My nudge value is up here, and so that it's going to be nudging it by, is it an 1/8 note? I think it's an 1/8 note. Look at on your QWERTY keyboard, comma and period. Above those are greater than and less than little signs. And if you hit those, it's going to nudge it in that direction, the greater than, less than. So technically I'm hitting period and comma. So see, this is period, and it's taking it to the right by the nudge value. And then comma, nudge it to the left by the nudge value. Let's see if I can shift click and add another one and nudge. Yeah, we're nudging both of them now. Super. Change the grid value. That's going to be, see how the grid value right now is a quarter note. Option control, then plus on your number pad is going to increase it, and minus control. So option control minus on the number pad is going to decrease it. I'll try it on the QWERTY. Plus doesn't work, minus does not work. It does something else. So it's only on the number pad for this one. And for changing our nudge value, I don't know how to, like say if it's showing nudge value in minutes and seconds, the only way I know to nudge it by musical values here would be to go use your mouse and select bars and beats, and then nudge, option, command, plus, minus to decrease, increase. All right, I think there's one more on your sheet that didn't make this version that I'm looking at. I think I'm looking at an old version. Once your selector is here, let me zoom in a little bit. If I hit the letter A, it's going to delete everything to the left. Command Z for undo. If I hit the letter S with my selector here, it's going to delete. Ooh, I hit F, I think. F as in fade. S, yeah, S deleted everything to the right. I didn't know that F would do that. That was pretty exciting. F. It wasn't F. What was it? D, as in draw fade. Huh. Learn something new every day. All right, guys. That is all we have for you. Hope this is helpful. See you guys.